There are a lot of people that use love to control. There are a lot of people that use relationships to control. And they don't really mean to do it that way. It's just sort of, they don't know what else to do. But when you've tasted the sweet nectar of alignment, of really loving you, friends, you've got yourselves in quite a bind, because so many people around you have different ideas of how you should live. So you know what you become? You become guarded and deceptive. You pretend that you are different than you are, so that you don't upset anybody's apple cart, and so that it doesn't come back on you. But when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you're in love with life, and you've got source energy flowing through you, and your timing is such that you just say the right thing at the right time, and you feel good, and you rendezvous with those who are in harmony with you, you live happily ever after. And it's their job to do the same for them. You cannot get sick enough to help sick people get well, and you cannot get poor enough to help poor people become prosperous, and you cannot become confused enough to help confused people find clarity. You cannot become unhappy enough to help unhappy people become happy. All you can do is tune to the fullness of who you are and radiate that outward, and those who want some of that will gravitate to you, and those who are in some other vibrational thing will gravitate from you. It's not your job to uplift the world. It's your job to uplift yourself. And in doing so, others who are in the vicinity will be uplifted also, you see. Yeah. And so if you just decide that you're going to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on, regardless of married or divorced, or regardless of this or that or the other, if you decide that you're going to be all that you are, the law of attraction will bring to you, because of the consistent vibration that you are emitting, what's a vibrational match to you, you see. And you can stop the futile, pretentious hypocrisy of pretending to be a whole lot of things that you have never wanted to be, for the sake of those who haven't figured out how to make their own life work. Yeah. And by that we pretty much mean all other people. All other people. It's their job to be happy, and it's not your job to perform in a way that makes them happy. And freedom comes from only that understanding. You're so free you can choose bondage. You're so free you can choose a thought that aligns you, or a thought that causes a tug of war within you. But you will never find a philosophy or a way of life that is offered by any group of people that as you follow it right down the line, it will bring you utter happiness. There is nothing like that. That's not what you came for. You didn't say, I'll come into physical experience and I'll figure out who's right and wrong, and I'll join the groups that's right and condemn the groups that are wrong. People act like that's what their assignment was, but it's certainly not what they intended. You came to live happily ever after. You intended to let life show you what you want for now, and you intended to line up with that and find the fullness of that, and let those thoughts turn to things while you define more and more and more. You're in a constant state of becoming, and unless you allow yourself to become, you will never feel satisfied. And almost everyone will resent every single person that they feel is holding them back. Do you know? I'm going to say it again. How you doing out there, by the way? Satisfaction comes from only one place. Satisfaction comes from having an intention and moving in the direction of it. And so you could not get together in a focus group and talk about what you should or shouldn't do, and then take the consensus and decide that that's what you're going to do. That would not bring you satisfaction. It would bring you deprivation, and it would bring you eventual resentment.
Yeah. And I feel that too, because, you know, I made that decision out of a space of complete alignment, and then got out of alignment when I started listening to the focus group.
Yeah. You know, this is going to sound strange to you in this context, but it's what we call buyer's remorse. So buyer's remorse is this. You're all frisky and tuned in. You're having a wonderful day. You see something you want and you move in the direction of it and you say yes to it. And then you get out of the vortex, you get back into the humdrum of work, you start feeling the deprivation of enough, and you lose it. And buyer's remorse is you were in alignment, and that's why it seemed like a good idea, and now you're not in alignment, and that's why it sounds like not a good idea. And it's hard because the peanut gallery wants to define what's right or wrong for you to want, and they don't get to do that. Which brings you around to the most significant thing that someone who's decided to live happily ever after will have to come to know. And that is, you have to give up on caring whether other people get you or not. Because other people are so diverse that they can't all get you. And then how do you decide which ones you want to get you? And then you have to analyze them to see if they're worth you letting them get you. And then you run around from group to group trying to decide if you've given yourself over to a group that's asking. It's an impossible situation. Or you can be who you are and line up with who you are and radiate your clarity and love and appreciation of life.